right, welcome to Life Extension Live. I'm your host, Dr. Mike. This is my co-host, Dr. Crystal. I hope you're having a good time doing these shows.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. We hope you're having a good time. Thanks for joining us today. Today, it's all about menopause and weight gain.
Woohoo! Boo to the weight gain. He's saying woohoo.
I don't know why I said woohoo.
Boo to the weight gain.
Yeah. Tough. So many women going through menopause, they feel like they're gaining weight. It's an issue. We get questions about this all the time, right?
Right.
It's a big issue, but interestingly, you're going to learn today that the science may say something a little different. You know, it may not just be menopause. So on today's show, we're going to talk about some myths and facts of weight gain and fat gain during menopause. We're going to talk about some great ways to combat it if you need some help. So let's get right into this. Let's get into some myths and facts.
Okay.
I'm going to give you two statements.
All right.
Two things that I think a lot of people believe are true, and they could be.
All right.
We're going to test you. You ready? Menopause causes rapid weight gain, and hormone replacement therapy also causes weight gain.
Okay. Drum roll. Those are things that people commonly say, and you're asking me, are those statements true?
Are they myth or fact?
Myth.
Myth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. See, a lot, but that's the thing. A lot of women watching this, they're in menopause. I'm gaining weight. How can that not be true?
Well, that's what you're convinced that is the case, because that is what you see all over the internet. Menopausal weight gain.
Yeah.
Help you lose weight during menopause.
Just-
That's all you see in the headline.
Go to Google.
Right.
And type in menopause. And then you know how Google then will give you the next few things?
Fill it in for
Most
you?
of it will be weight related.
Yeah.
Menopause and weight. Menopause and weight gain. Menopause and belly fat.
Yeah.
You'll see that. So people are definitely interested in this, and I believe they think it's true overall.
Well, maybe that menopausal time of life is the time where you pause to say, whoa, something's changing here. I am going through that change, and now it's making you maybe hyper aware of how you look. You may be, not feeling yourself. So now emotionally, you're looking in the mirror, you're thinking,
something's going on.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
And you just want to get your old self back.
Our, overarching theme that you and I discuss a lot, we teach this a lot. Most of the things that you encounter, whether it's weight gain, whether it's headaches, whether it's bowel, whatever it is, whatever that diagnosis is, or that thing is, vast majority of the time it's multifactorial.
Yeah.
It's not just menopause is causing my weight gain. It might be a part of it.
Yeah.
But there's other things going on that the research is pointing to, and I wanted to go over this quick study here.
Okay. Yeah.
This was a really interesting study, over 1,200 subjects, right? These were women all in menopause, right? Well, they started out 8 years before menopause.
Right, so that perimenopause phase.
Started with perimenopause, and then they looked into the menopause period and what they called the postmenopause period. So they kind of went through many years with these women. And at the end of the day, in that first 8 years before menopause, there was some fat mass increase, right? So right there you're thinking, oh, see, the hormones are causing fat. But lean mass dropped. And so at the end of this study, at least in that first 8 year period, what they saw was, you gained some fat, but you lost some muscle. So the net in your weight change really wasn't that much.
Right. Now, did they lose the weight? Did they lose the lean tissue during that first, or was it when they hit the menopausal period?
It's when they lost a little bit, I think, at that first 8, but when they hit the menopause period, it doubled. Fat gain doubled, and lean mass declined more significantly.
Oh, wow.
So when you hit true menopause, fat really went up, but muscle really went down. And so what they found is that the net change in weight really wasn't all that great. As matter of fact, they concluded that we observed no acceleration in weight gain at the time of the menopause transition. That
So
8 years to the menopause.
What this translates to is it's not like you hit the menopause and all of this happens all of a sudden.
Right.
This seems to be
Something's going on.
a gradual
Yes.
increase in weight.
Yeah.
And I think it's due to age too.
Well-
maybe not so much hormonal age and as well as lifestyle. And I'll tell you why I think this, Dr. Mike.
Right.
It happens in men as well.
It does. Yeah.
So you can see if you look at age, you hit your 40s, men are starting to gain a little weight. They're
It's
starting
true.
to get the belly fat. You hit the 50s,
Woo!
it's the same thing.
It
and
is.
we know that women and men have estrogen, right?
Yeah.
But in different ratios, men and women have testosterone. So you can't just say it's the decline in estrogen
Right.
that's causing it in women.
That's right. And again, as we've been teaching for a long time, multifactorial.
Yeah.
And I think age is there. Diet obviously is playing a role, but the big one, ready? Do the drum roll. The big one science is pointing out to that causes, I don't know what that was, that causes weight gain, not exercising enough.
Physical activity.
That's the big factor in all of this.
Well, the physical activity is what is going to preserve your lean tissue. And when we say lean tissue, that's the muscle mass.
muscle. It's muscle.
It's the muscle. And the more muscle you have, we know that muscle is very, uses a lot of energy.
Yes.
Burns a lot of calories.
Revs up your metabolism when you got a lot of it.
Helps with blood sugar regulation.
Yes.
I feel like diabetes, when you're dealing with diabetes or blood sugar issues, is not so much the sugar, or people talk about the sugar turning into fat. I think it's the muscle.
Yeah. I have said this before. I know you've heard me say it before. At the end of the day, increasing muscle mass is an anti-aging strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree 100%.
The other statement we had there, so it wasn't just menopause causes weight gain, it was also hormone replacement therapy. Because a lot of women hear that you're going, oh, don't do that, you'll gain weight. At the end of the day, that's not true. As a matter of fact, you found some research showing that hormone replacement therapy helps to block, the belly fat, right?
Right. So, the hormone replacement therapy is inversely related to weight gain. So, individuals who are, who know that they're having this transition and now they are taking an estrogen cream or a progesterone cream, those individuals using hormone replacement therapy did not see the weight gain compared to individuals.
So it did
who
help.
do.
And again, I think that's an important point. We're not, keep that word in mind, multifactorial.
Yeah.
Age, diet, exercise, and some of those hormonal changes.
Yeah.
It all comes together to cause some weight gain. But to sit there and point to just one, like, I think this is true. If you're gonna point to one, I would actually point to loss of physical activity than any of those other things.
So what do we
No,
mean
do
when
you-
we say physical activity?
Well, this
That's
is-
the big question.
Listen, as a medical doctor, I've been telling patients for many years to eat less and exercise more. Done.
Bye.
It's
Next
true.
patient.
It's true, and it's so sad. You know how it is. Right? We've never really expanded on that. We've never really talked about what does that mean? What does that
Right.
look like? Oh, here's a brochure on some exercise you get. We don't do any of that.
Oh,
We
goodness.
just say, well, you got to exercise more, and I think
Right.
people, it doesn't mean anything anymore to people.
Well, and that's true. So one, I like to separate this idea of exercise versus being physically active.
Okay, that sounds good.
You follow where I'm going. And I think what I'm going to say is against certain things that we've even talked about on this show. Because we always say, gardening, physical activity, vacuuming, physical activity. And that is very true, that you're up, you're moving, movement is important.
Right.
But when we start talking about what's happening leading up to this change of life, you're going to have to do a little bit more than vacuum
I
your
agree.
floor.
Yes,
That's
yes. Be active, But we need to do more when you're starting to see those changes.
Yes.
That hormones may be playing a role, age is playing a role, all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
to really increase the lean tissue, preserve the lean tissue, you have to, there you go, Dr. Mike. I don't want to say pump some iron, but you have to do something that's weight bearing.
Yeah.
Weight bearing exercises.
Right.
And weight bearing exercises may mean, if you know, some dumbbells, some bands.
Yeah. That's my favorite. The resistance.
The resistance bands.
They work
yes.
really well. So you don't need to buy a gym for your home. You can get some resistant bands at different weights. People do. Your stepmom. What does she do?
She so my mother-in-law, she does. I better not have a stepmom.
Sorry.
My mother-in-law does water aerobics. And so if you like exercising in the water, then take it to the next level. Buy some of those water-resistant little dumbbells in the water so that you can get the resistance on those muscles.
And metabolism goes up. First of all, I believe it's an anti-aging strategy overall.
Yeah.
Metabolism's going up. You're handling energy better.
Yeah.
The sugars, the fats better. And hey, you tone up a little bit. You look a little better.
Well, I think overall it's going to help. Now, when you talk about other strategies, because I think we've given a little more specific guidance than just exercise. I encourage all of you out there to find some type of structured activity. You know, even if it's the local gym, they have now the classes. Don't skip the classes where they're actually toning. Those tone classes. If you're at a fitness facility, there are lots of classes now that's a part of health insurance. And I used to participate in facilitating silver sneakers. These are provided through your health insurance. It's free. So I would encourage you to reach out to your insurance provider, if, you know, and consider those.
Build some muscle.
Yeah.
And again, that's probably out of all those factors we talked about why you're gaining weight, and we want to blame those hormonal changes. It's andropause, it's menopause. Those hormone changes play a role. Key thing, we got to keep muscle mass.
Okay, and one last plug for something else. I have to say this: protein.
Protein.
Dr. Mike, protein, way more, and this is again what the research is showing, above the RDA.
Yeah. So
the 0.8 is not enough. And then when we say 0.8, that's 0.8 grams per kilogram of weight.
Right.
That's not enough. Research is now showing upwards of 1.6 grams per kilogram.
Yeah.
Is what's needed.
I have no problem
in the
believing
older
that.
years.
No,
Yeah.
I have no problem. If you're an athlete, you need more. If you're getting up there in age, you need more. If you're gonna do some weight bearing exercises, you need to increase the protein to help out.
Yeah, and what that looks like for me, because I've been on this protein craze right now, is a protein supplement, protein powder.
Yeah. Easy way to do it, right?
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Especially you don't want to bring in the protein and now your calories are going up with the protein, right?
That's true.
So the protein supplementation seems to help.
Now, so when you do your protein supplementation, you're doing a whey or something where it's giving you all that you need? What about, because we have seen research, right, for older people, branched chain amino acids, for instance, like really increasing those.
Yes.
But you should get those out of a general whey, right? Those should be in there.
Yes, so a whey will give you the branched chain amino acids. That's the leucine, which is most important for kind of stimulating that muscle, the muscle growth. Leucine, isoleucine, valine. So you will get that in a whey. Most of the plant-based proteins now they kind of mix the peas and some rice and they mix it together, so you are able to get the blend. But it doesn't hurt to add in some extra branched chain amino acids.
Right. These are amino acids that they're branched, and so they don't get affected by liver metabolism as much, and they end up they get right into the muscle.
Yes.
I like to think of it like they get started working right away.
Yes.
And they help muscle mass, muscle turnover, all that kind of stuff. They help muscles manage energy better at the same time. So
Exactly.
branched chain amino acids. Other things that you should factor as well. So it's not just age, what are you eating, big one, exercise, muscle, hormonal changes, right? Before we go on, matter of fact, check your hormones. See where you're at every year. Do you need a little of this? You need a little. Things change, and women, you may need a little testosterone. You won't.
So true.
You won't know that unless you test.
That's very true. And so one thing that you also want to think about is sleep.
That was gonna be my big thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that's a huge factor. Because as you're getting older, you're gaining weight. You're not feeling as good as you want, right? Maybe the diet's not as good. All of that impacts stress, and all of that impacts sleep as well.
Very true. And of course, you do see the connection between the decline in progesterone and sleep.
Yeah.
You need that progesterone. Progesterone is very calming to the mind.
It's a nice one.
It's very calming to the mind. And so you do find sleep issues start occurring with that change of life, the perimenopausal phase as well. So if you're not sleeping, then you're probably eating.
Yeah.
I always say that if you're up late, then you will usually eat more calories.
Right.
So now, is it the menopause or is it the fact that you're not sleeping well as the cause?
Again, I think it's all intertwined.
Yeah.
Right. To end the great information, by the way, this is great. So there is the North American Menopause Society annual meeting, right? And this was in Atlanta, I guess, last year. A Dr. Kapoor from the Mayo, I hope I said that right, Dr. Kapoor, from Mayo Clinic, he concluded everything with this. In the absence of active efforts at healthier eating and regular physical activity, weight gain is an inevitable occurrence in midlife women. Notice in that statement, it says nothing about menopause. He's attributing it all to diet. We're not exercising as much. He goes on to say it is imperative that women enter menopause with this knowledge and the familiarity with practical tips to prevent and manage weight gain.
There you have it. And so our takeaway here is do something about it.
Yeah. Start now.
Start now.
Yeah.
And start in those years leading up to. So we're not talking just to the menopausal women out there. We're talking to women, if you are, I would give it 43 or older.
Yeah.
This is for you.
Yes.
Start now.
And why don't we open it up to the guys too? I mean, at the end of the day, age, diet, not exercising, we lose testosterone, we gain, all of that causes. So, hey, all of us, let's really, start thinking about, if you're in your 40s, right? Really start thinking about what you're eating and not just being physically active, thinking about what are things I can do to build muscle. Right, or maintain that muscle I have at least, right? That would be key. We have a nice, so this is a wellness blog that Life Extension produces, lifeextension.com/pause. Go check that out, and there's a bunch of stuff there, right?
Yes, it's the main menopause blog page.
Yeah.
So there's several blogs at lifeextension.com/pause.
Pause. Dr. Crystal, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Dr. Mike.
We hope you learned something about the connection between menopause and weight gain. And, again, I'm going to say it, multifactorial. Most of the things we talk about up here, it's not just one thing causing one thing. There's usually things intertwine. So just remember that. Thanks for joining us. We go live 3 o'clock every Wednesday. Don't forget to like and share and comment and click that interested button so when we go live, you get alerted.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dr. Mike. Take care.